All right, I'm here today with a 50-year-old Pearson Ensign, and it's got its original gray gel coat, and it's quite faded. It has never been buffed out. It's been hand buffed a little bit and waxed a few times over the years, but it's been pretty abused and it's not looking too good. So we're gonna buff this thing right out. The first thing we're gonna use is the TotalBoat rubbing compound. Now we're going to apply it to a rag first and then rub it onto the hull in about a 2x2 square area. And the reason why we're going to do it that way rather than squirting it on the hull is because when we get into it with the buffer, if we squirt it on the hull, it sprays it around a little bit and you waste some product. So the way to do it is to apply it with a rag and then spread it out a little bit and then pick your buffer up and buff after that. The pad that we're going to use is a 3M pad sold by Jamestown Distributors, and it's double-sided, which is very convenient, so you don't have to buy two pads. And it screws onto the buffer in the center, obviously. And we're going to use one side for the heavier compound and the other side for the lighter compound. After that area has been buffed, you don't want to leave the rubbing compound on there too long. So what you do is you pick up one of these nice microfiber cleaning cloths and a little bit of water and rub that area down with some water to remove the residual compound. TotalBuff is a fast-cut marine polish, and it acts very much like sandpaper. You're actually removing the surface. It removes oxidation, scratches, and different things like that. The buffer does the work. You don't have to do the work. All you have to do is move the buffer around. If you're pushing on the buffer too much and slowing the RPMs of the buffer down, you're working too hard. Just relax and let the buffer spin and do the work for you. That's the idea of the machine. And as you buff along, you can actually see the material leaving because it changes color as you buff, even with this compound. It's not a finishing compound, but it's the first stage of compounding the surface. You can actually see the boat come to life as you compound it. Now, it doesn't have the exact gleam that it should have, but the color starts to come back because all the oxidation is gone, the scratches and different things are reduced, and it just starts to look great. TotalBuff and Shine is designed to be used as a system. The first and more aggressive compound is capable of taking off oxidation, scratches, and things left by use over the years. Also capable of removing 600 to 800 wet sand and scratches. And remember to remove the residual compound after buffing with the microfiber rag that's provided and some water. Now that we've buffed off most of the oxidation on the port side with the rubbing compound, the heavier grit, we're going to switch over our pad to the other side and start applying the finishing compound. Now it's the same exact procedure. We're just going to take a rag, apply it to a rag, to a 2x2 square area, and then pick up the buffer and start buffing. It continues the process, and it removes some of the swirl marks that were left by the earlier compound. It continues to remove oxidation. It applies a little bit differently. It's easier to spread out, and it buffs a little bit differently. But you still can't let it dry out in front of you and all those things. It's exactly the same process. And now you're actually removing the texture that the first compound leaves and producing this beautiful surface that's ready to be waxed. Now that 2x2 area is just an area that they designate so that it won't dry out in front of you by the time you pick up the buffer and get it buffed. But the compound's not drying out in front of you too fast. You can kind of stretch it along a little bit and probably apply it to a little bit larger area and not have any problem at all. And then the option is to have somebody applying the compound in front of you so you only do the buffing. And I kind of recommend that because that's teamwork, and teamwork gets things done a lot faster. We've removed quite a bit of the actual surface of the boat, gotten down past the scratches. We've removed all the swirl marks. We've prepared the surface. It does not protect the surface. It takes TotalBoat premium boat wax to protect the surface. Yeah, now that takes care of the buffing on the port side, and we're going to move on to the starboard side. We've buffed it with both weights compound, and I would say that there's quite a contrast between the port side and the starboard side right now.